British fashion may be turning London into the coolest capital, but its business prospects are impressive too. It's expected to grow by up to 30% next year. Heather Vitar, GMTV News.
And just a reminder of our top story. Within the past few minutes, Princess Margaret has arrived at a private hospital in London from Barbados, where she suffered a stroke. She walked gingerly from her car. Doctors are expected to carry out a number of tests to assess her condition. It's 8 minutes past 8. I'm back at past. Now here's Stephen and Fiona.
Thanks, Penny. Now, as we've just seen in the news, the latest catwalk fashions from the London fashion shows. Last night's star attraction was British designer East End boy Alexander McQueen, and these are pictures we've managed to obtain of his show, pictures he didn't want you to see. In fact, Mr. McQueen went as far as banning us from his show because he didn't think you, the GMTV viewers, were the right sort of people to buy his clothes. Not the right profile, in fact. I'm sure you're very relieved to hear that this morning. But what do you think of them? Would you actually go out and spend the cash? Phone in and let us know. We'd be interested to hear, as always.
Well, Rosemary Marlin from the Midlands already has, and she says, how dare Alexander McQueen say that GMTV viewers are not suitable to see his designs? I feel really insulted. Not surprisingly, Rosemary. Does he think that we're all a load of fat frumps?
He's in trouble now.
I wonder if he does. And what he needs to remember, Stephen Jardine, is that he's an East End boy.
Exactly.
He's an East End boy.
Remember your roots, Alexander McQueen. That's what we said. But what I think is nice is that the studio crew this morning...
Roots are in fashion, actually. Showing your roots through, so he doesn't need to remember his roots.
The studio crew this morning have dressed in Alexander McQueen fashions, which I think is nice. Well, not his designs, obviously, but the jeans halfway down your bum and the baggy shirts and things like that, which is nice. Yeah. Always.
And talking of builders' bottoms, are you sitting on a fortune, I wonder? A small fortune, it'll be. Now, there are millions of pounds of these little things. There we are. You can see that's not, it's not little, it's the big 50p piece, because there are two in circulation at the moment, aren't there? Now, lots of these hidden away in homes around Britain. I've only got one, actually, which I found in my purse. But you know those bottles that you collect in, you put change in and what have you? I bet lots of us have got stuff muzzled away in there. But after midnight on Saturday, these are no longer legal tender. Now, here's a look at what 50p bought when it was introduced in 1969, before decimalisation.
Swinging London, groovy clothing. The first man's been on the moon and the bin men are on strike. It's 1969 and the government brings in the world's first 7-sided coin to replace the 10-shilling note. It all seems a long time ago, and the prices are from another era as well. For just one 50p coin, you could buy everything on this shopping list with money to spare. Drive to the shops, because petrol's just 7p a litre. Once you're there, milk's only 4p a pint, and half a dozen eggs, a snip at 9p. Keep looking, madam, there's plenty more bargains. Pound of cheddar, just 20p, and something for the kiddies to smile about. A bar of chocolate costs a mere 3p. Time for a swinging night out. A pint of beer yours for 4p. Steady on. At these prices, you could bathe in the stuff. Some staggering good buys from the 60s, and now it's goodbye to the old 50p.
Doesn't that take you back? I thought the 50p coin was a 70s phenomenon, but no, end of the 60s it came in. Known as 10-shilling coin then, of course, or 10 bob to most of us. And all the old 50p's will be sent by the banks to the Royal Mint, which is in South Wales. Some of us know that, some of you didn't. You do now. What you do know too is that Sonia Legg is there for us this morning. Morning to you, Sonia. Where are you? I can see you now. I can see you. Behind loads of money there.
Absolutely. I've always wanted to be called money bags, Fiona. Take a look at this. Hey, each one of these bags has got £500,000 worth of 50p coins in it. And there are 35 bags here, so the best part of 20 million quid is what I'm sitting on here. Unfortunately, though, it's all going to be destroyed, and it's scrap metal. It's not worth anything at all.
I know. Well, what are they going to do with it then, Sonia?
Well, it's all literally recycled, melted down, and turned into the new 50p coins. It's a very complicated process and quite a dangerous one as well. But what happens is the bags arrive here from the bank like that, then they're poured into this hopper and measured and weighed. I love this, it's like the world's biggest fruit machine. Hey! I've hit the jackpot. It's then weighed and measured, and it's taken across on a forklift truck to the furnace. We can actually see the forklift truck here loaded up. Off you go round to the furnace. Now I've got to put on some protective clothing. I'm already wearing a wool coat here to protect me from the heat, and I've got to wear a hat as well with a visor. So I've got to put that on it, and we can actually walk over to the furnace now. We're going to tip these 50p's into the furnace. Now this is £15,000 worth of coins going into the smoke, going up in smoke here. I think they're about to go inside. We can wait, we should see a few flames. We can't get too close at the moment because they're about to be poured in. There we go. All that money being destroyed. Heartbreaking, isn't it? Look at those flames. Pretty good bonfire, and I can feel the heat from here. Now we can go up a bit closer. The temperature inside the furnace is 1,450 degrees Celsius, and that's all those coins being melted. Now the minting process takes place elsewhere. The molten lead is turned into flat sheets of metal, and it's then cut into coins and actually printed. Now, the security here is phenomenal. They make 4 to 5 million 50p coins every week, and so far they've made 400 million of the new models of 50p coins. We've got some of them here. These are the finished product. And we've also got, hey, this is top secret, I'll show you this as well. This is the new £2 coin. Now, not many people have seen these, but these are coming into circulation very soon. Now, if you think I'm going to get away with sticking some of these coins in my pocket, you've got another thing coming, because we are not allowed to bring any money into this factory, and anyone leaving with money on them has obviously stolen it.
Now, Sonia, also, so the deadline's midnight Saturday, yeah? What if you find some 50p's lying around after that? Because lots of us will, won't we?
Well, you can actually take them back to the bank. You have 3 days to spend them, and if you were going to do that, to spend all 120 million left in circulation, we'd have to spend them at the rate of 12,500 a minute. So I don't think we're going to manage that. But after that, you can still return them to the bank. So there is some hope of getting your money back.
Okay, old money bags, Sonia Legg, thanks for joining us live from the Royal Mint in South Wales this morning. So many of you have been phoning in this morning about these 50p's. What to do with them? It's worth asking around to see if there are any charities who are taking these old ones.
That's where you find them, down the back of the sofa.
Oh, is that where yours are hidden?
Like
Where else are yours hidden, Stephen John?
Don't ask.
Sarah Huller from Bradford says that there's a cancer charity in particular, I can't read out its name because we're not allowed to do appeals on this programme, but it's worth finding out what charities will be using these old 50p coins. And Eddie Piper from Mitcham, bless him, he
Morning,
says,
Eddie.
now, you know the shape of the 50p coin? He says it was shaped a bit like a spanner. We can't see it. You can't really see it, can you? Well, you know what a 50p coin looks like, for goodness sake. There we are. Shaped like a spanner, he said, and the reason is so it would be easier to get out of a Scotsman's hand. And that's what he said. Wrench it out.
We're not allowed to do appeals in this programme, but it's my birthday on Saturday, so if you don't know what to do with them come close of play on Saturday, always
28th of
appreciated,
February.
really, isn't it?
OK, go on.
Anyway, still to come on the programme this morning, we've got two of Britain's most popular actresses, EastEnders Michelle Collins and Gwyneth Strong from Only Fools and Horses. They join us on the sofa to talk about their new all-star drama, Real Women. Good morning, 8:19, you're waking up to Gmtv on a Thursday morning. Well, forget about girl power, women power is about to hit our screens. Real Women is a three-part drama which starts tonight. It's got a star-studded lineup, and two of the real women are here with us this morning. EastEnders star Michelle Collins and Gwyneth Strong of Only Fools and Horses. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Michelle, just to start with, tell us what it's about.
It's about 5 women who are all at school together in Islington, and they've been friends. Sort of, they're 30-somethings now, and basically they all get together for a wedding, my wedding, and that's a character of Susie, and it's sort of set over. It's like 3 days, really, isn't it? It's basically the hen night, then the hangover, and then the wedding, and it's obviously got. I mean, it's about female bonding, really, femaleness. Is there such a word?
There is now.
There's a lot as well. And a lot of people have been saying that they're real sort of laddish females. They're real yobby females, aren't they?
I think they're a real mixture. I think out of the 5 characters, you've got a real mixture of all sorts of women. Pauline Quirk's character is married with children and in a fairly unhappy relationship, and so you've got a mixture there, really.
And it's dead raunchy. I mean, look at this, for heaven's sake. Filthy stuff. And Peter Stringfellow asked you to sign this morning, didn't he?
I didn't, though.
Dirty man, I shouldn't think so. Anyway, let's take a look at the clip. you got paid to do it as well. It looks like you really had a good time
we cried.
doing it.
I mean, that was we shouldn't really say, I mean, that's the very end, and we all did, it was very emotional, that scene, actually. Really emotional for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, because that dance that we do, we rehearsed on the first day, so it took us right back to when we all first met, and we were all very nervous and didn't know each other, and the director asked Michelle to come up with different versions for that dance. We were all copying her, because she was good at that.
No, because I used to do Chubba Chubba Cheep Cheep at school, you see, so that's...
I remember that too. Where's your mum?
And also I got to get out of that wedding dress. I had that wedding dress on for about 2 weeks, and it was filthy after. I was Miss Havisham.
And what a cast, actually. I mean, and you as you say, you really bonded, and it was great fun and everything. But it's a really brave move to bring sort of people known for theatre, like Francis Barbara, and the likes of you two, very prominent on our
And Leslie
television
Manville,
screens
which stays
together.
in it as well.
And yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, the whole lot of you, in fact,
Yeah.
and Pauline, known from television as well.
Yeah.
Were you two a bit intimidated by the sort of theatrical background?
What, the toffs and the tops?
Yeah, yeah.
The lovies.
I was certainly, yeah. I mean, I was a bit scared, yeah, especially Francis, like, oh God,
Francis Barbara,
Frankie
I
Barbara,
know,
oh,
I know.
beware.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, you know, I think when you get 5 women all together, everyone assumes we're going to be a bunch of bitches and not get on, and it wasn't like that at all. I think because we are all so different, that's why we got on, really.
Yeah, I think we all complement each other, and I think all our acting styles did that, really.
And in this, Gwyneth, you're married to a very understanding man, the character of the man, not in real life, I'm sure you are too, but the character that you're married to is very understanding, unlike poor old Rodney the plonker. So you've got rid of the plonker at last, and you've got a decent man you're married to now.
Yes, it's a very good character. Gary Webster plays my husband in it.
From Minder, Gary's from.
Yeah, that's right, yes. And it's quite role reversal, I think, because he's very careful and caring and concerned about her, and she's quite angry and behaves a bit badly, really.
Just a bit like Cindy.
Exactly. And you're about to leave again, EastEnders, aren't you?
I know, yes. This week, in fact.
And that's it? This time, do you think?
Never
Who
say
knows?
never.
She's such a good character, that's the thing.
She's not being killed off, which is nice. So, you know, I mean, I probably will go back, but I don't know when. It's nice to be, you know, to be still wanted, though, I suppose.
And now you're a mum, Michelle. Has it made a difference to that drive to work all the time? So you've got little Maya. How old is she? 17 months?
She's 17 months, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think I'm much more ambitious now than I was even before.
Really?
Oh, definitely, yes.
I thought it would have gone the other way.
No, it hasn't actually, no.
Why is that, do you think? So you want to provide a secure
I suppose so,
future for
because I just
her?
feel a bit more responsible, and I think you're a bit more focused on things, and it matures you, you know. You've got this other little person to think about, so...
She's
not as wild.
So
Now, I've got to ask you, we've been doing this thing on infidelity this morning with Peter Stringfellow and us. The infidelity gene, is it in men's genes? Hey, it's not our fault, that's what men are saying, apparently. What do you two think?
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
an interesting one, isn't it? Oh, God. No, I think there's still some nice men around. I don't think it's in their genes. I think that's a bit...
Cindy just hasn't found one. That's
Yeah,
the
but
problem.
I said, don't ask me, I'm not...
Well, David in EastEnders, I mean, he was a classic case,
Yeah,
wasn't
she always
he?
picks a wrong one, doesn't she?
Yeah,
not
that's
Cindy.
the problem, it's the wrong uns.
Okay, well, Gwyneth and Michelle, lovely to see you both. I can't wait to see it, actually. When's it on?
Tonight.
Tonight it's
9:30.
on.
BBC.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
And you're going to watch it
And hope you
tonight,
enjoy it.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure we will. I've seen all the promotions, actually. It looks
Thanks
great.
for joining us, thank you.
Okay, right, Simon, a real man. He's here with the weather right after the break. Ross Kelly and Lauren Booth, they're holding the fort for Lorraine again today. 10 to 9, they'll have the lowdown on London Fashion Week. Plus, they'll be meeting someone who believes that the little people at the bottom of our garden are more than just a fairy tale.
Gmtv weather with Vaseline Intensive Care for a healthier outlook.
Morning again. Well, Fiona says I'm a real man, eh? Grrr. Anyway, it's going to be a man's weather coming down across the country during today. You really are going to need those woolies on. This cold front's moving down, bringing some very cold weather behind it, and also some gales as well. Some really nasty wind chills going through Scotland during today. As if that weren't bad enough, there'll be some snow as well. There's the band of rain moving its way southwards through the country during today, and also getting through in towards this afternoon. We'll find these showers coming into the far northwest as well during the day. There's that band of rain, then it's affecting northern parts of England at the moment, just coming down in towards the Midlands. It'll gradually be moving its way further southwards. Behind it, it'll be turning bright. It looks like quite a dry afternoon for northern parts of Wales and northern England. Scotland, though, and also Northern Ireland, there we'll see the showers. Some of the showers are going to be wintry as well over higher ground. Now, quite a cool day to come in the north there. Top temperature 7 Celsius, 45 degrees Fahrenheit, but certainly not feeling like that with these very strong southwesterly winds, touching gale force at times. A little bit milder though down in the south of the country, 12 degrees Celsius, a typical temperature. That's 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Now tonight, the remnants of that rain clearing away from the southeast. Some more showers coming in towards the north, but through this central section, it's going to be dry with some clear skies. Temperatures rising to highs of around about 3 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Fahrenheit, and staying rather breezy in the north. That's it. I'm off to lift some weights. Here's your summary.
If you would like more detailed information about the weather in your area for today and the week ahead, call GMTV Weather Call on 0891 55 9955.
All right, fast edging round towards 8:30. You're waking up to GMTV on a Thursday morning. Time to get this morning's latest news from Penny Smith.
Thanks very much. Good morning. Within the last half hour, Princess Margaret has arrived at a private hospital in London from Barbados, where she suffered a stroke. From the King Edward VII Hospital, I'm joined by Sue Saville. Good morning, Sue.
Yes, good morning. That's right. At exactly 8 o'clock, Princess Margaret arrived back here at the King Edward VII Hospital. She came in a car convoy headed by a motorcade of police outriders. And when she got out of the car, it was very gingerly that she walked up the steps. Princess Margaret in a bluey-green mac there, and with her hair piled up loosely on the back of her head. She walked unaided into the hospital, but very slowly and very delicately indeed. Clearly, after a stroke, she needs to have very great care and take great care to make sure that she doesn't overexert herself. Once in the hospital here now, she's going to be undergoing further assessments from cardiologists, from a neurologist. This is to make sure that they can see that there's no permanent damage done to her. They need to also find out why the stroke happened in the first place. Was it a blocked artery? Was it a brain hemorrhage? Once they can ascertain that, they can know the best course of treatment to make sure that the princess doesn't suffer another attack like this, another episode. It was a mild stroke, but clearly it's been a very serious condition. Princess Margaret, of course, no stranger to the hospital here behind me. She was here just last month visiting her own mother when the Queen Mother came here for the hip operation. We're expecting the princess to stay in the hospital for a few days and hope to hear that all's going well and that her recovery is well underway. I'm not sure yet about any visitors. Her daughter Sarah is understood to be in the country. Her son Lord Linley has been out in the States, but it may be that when the Princess Margaret gets home, that's when she'll be seeing her own family, and we hope to hear that she's going to be fit and well to go home within a few days and to continue her recovery there. Back to you, Penny.
Thanks, Sue, very much. An animal keeper is recovering in hospital after part of his arm was bitten off by a Bengal tiger. The attack happened on a farm owned by the Chipperfield circus family in Oxfordshire. Last month, a member of the family was seriously injured in Florida when he was attacked by another tiger. Lottery regulator Oflot has ordered a crackdown this morning on the illegal sale of tickets and scratch cards to youngsters. A new survey shows a rise in sales to under-16s. National lottery operator Camelot insists it enforces rigorous controls and is tackling the problem. Richard Branson is teaming up with the government today to campaign against teenage smoking. The Virgin boss is joining forces with Health Minister Tessa Jowell to launch an anti-smoking roadshow and leafleting blitz targeting 11 to 15-year-olds. Rock drummer Tommy Lee is expected to appear in court today, accused of assaulting his wife Pamela Anderson. He's been held in custody after being arrested following an argument at the couple's home in Malibu. Police say Ms Anderson had minor injuries to her hand and back. 8:32, that's it for now. I'll be back with any major news updates, but now here's the news, travel and weather where you are.
Good morning, I'm Gillian Fraser. A verdict expected today in the trial of a man accused of raping a 16-year-old girl at a Cumbrian beauty spot. Carlisle Crown Court has heard this week that Gordon Stobie is alleged to have attacked the teenager at a campsite near Pulley Bridge last July. 36-year-old Stobie from County Durham denies rape and a lesser alternative charge of indecent assault. There's been a large increase in the number of registered heroin addicts in the Berwick area. Experts say the total now stands at more than 50, compared with just one known case only 4 years ago. There's been a significant drop in the number of complaints against Dumfries and Galloway police. Figures for the final 3 months of last year show only 3 new complaints were lodged, compared with 11 during the same period 12 months earlier. A major leisure development in Carlisle is being considered by council planners today. Cumbria County Council will respond to the application for a multiplex cinema with food outlets on London Road. The county's head of planning, Guy Richardson, is recommending the development be opposed. Some of the region's farmers and hunt supporters will be lighting up the fells this evening in the run-up to the weekend's National Countryside March in London. It's expected more than 40 beacon fires will be lit in Cumbria, with hundreds more across the south of Scotland. The event is to highlight rural issues, including the beef crisis and the call to ban hunting. Travel news on the M6, the carriageway is reduced to 2 lanes between junctions 42 and 43 at Carlisle. There are roadworks on Kingstown Road in Carlisle, and in Galashiels there's resurfacing work on Scott Street. That's the news and travel. In a moment, the weather.
Your local weather is sponsored by Cavonia Cough Medicines, by day and by night.
Well, it looks like it'll be a cloudy morning with some patchy rain, but becoming drier and brighter later, with top temperatures of 9 Celsius.
Good morning. Stay with us on GMTV. Just turned 8:35 because after the break we're talking about infidelity this morning.
Yeah, we are. We talked about it earlier on this morning because apparently some scientists claim that there's an infidelity gene, and we talked to 2 ladies who had married 2 brothers and they both left them. The 2 brothers had left the 2 ladies, so they definitely thought there was a gene that you can inherit. Trevor Bryan from Bolton's phoned in. He says his wife left him and his children last year, and he's found out that various members of her family have also left their partners, so he thinks there's definitely an infidelity gene too.
So there may be something in it. Well, Deirdre Saunders will be here to take your calls a little bit later, and Playboy Peter Stringfellow, outrageously not wearing socks, will be here to stick up for the men who can't say no. Stay with us.
Hello again, it's 22 minutes to 9 now. I wonder what you'd do if your partner turned around one day and said they were having an affair, but claimed it wasn't their fault. Well, new research may just let them off the hook, back them up, because scientists say that adultery may be in our genes, i.e. there may be an infidelity gene. We've had lots of calls on this morning. Sarah Dorrell from Hampshire says, infidelity is in the genes all right, but you've spelt it wrong. It should be Jeans, and my husband's wearing them. Deirdre Saunders is here to help people like Sarah. Aren't you, Deirdre? And Peter...
I'll try.
Yeah, you will try. And Peter Stringfellow is sitting alongside you to defend that theory that there is indeed an infidelity gene. We'll see what you're going to say in a minute, Mr. Stringfellow. But first, Deirdre, what do you make of this? Do you think it's a genetic thing, infidelity?
To be honest, I don't think it helps us to think that it's in the genes anyway. The fact is that something like at least twice as many men are unfaithful as supposed to have it in their genes. I think it's 30% in their genes, the scientists say, but actually something like 2/3, 3/4 of men cheat in marriage. And so I must say to a good proportion of wives. It's something like 40–50% of wives. So you can't just say, oh, it's in the genes. I mean, it's actually much more to do with how you choose to behave in your relationship. It's no excuse. You've still just got to work hard at relationships.
Work hard at relationships, Peter Stringfellow. Is that what's put you off? Although it has to be said, in your defence, I'm going to defend you now. You were married for 20-odd years, weren't you?
23 or 24 years. Give a year either way.
But since that, you've made up for lost time.
Well, I mean, I wasn't faithful during my marriage either, to be honest. But the point is, I was a great husband. I was fantastic in everything else except the fertility bit. But my wife was a very clever lady.
Fidelity.
Bit. Well, whatever it is. I can't even spell it, let alone pronounce it. But I had a great marriage, and you know, we men do get a bit of a bum rap for that kind of thing. This gene thing is right. We've got genes for everything, haven't we? The people who are anti-hunting could say, you know, it's in the genes, and we have to go and hunt. There is a responsibility. I agree with you entirely. I'm getting pretty, you know, mature in my older age, you know, so. Yeah, I think that infidelity, is that the right word?
Infidelity.
Infidelity, all right then. In marriage.
He just practices it, he doesn't know how to say it.
And I've got to say, I actually think it's a terribly serious issue, and I don't think you can just say, oh, I had a great marriage, but I cheated all the time.
No,
Your relationship was your relationship.
I'm being honest.
But I know, I have people calling in all the time who suffer enormous pain because their partner cheats. And you are cheating on the relationship, if you like. It's not just the hurt, it's that you're not investing in it, you're not giving your all to it. So, of course, it falls down around your ears in the end.
Yeah.
But hold it. May I just put a point in there?
Yeah.
Then you have to go right to the beginning and this flippant idea of getting married. Oh, I want to have all his children. I hate that statement. And get married and have children.
It's not the
It's the
wedding,
flippancy
it's
of getting married, you know. Stop with
marriage
that. And
shouldn't
don't
be
get
flippant,
married
that's
if you're going to find it difficult. Yeah.
Right, OK, we have to leave you there. We're back to you in a minute because it is serious for a lot of people, Deirdre, as we've been saying. It's devastating, in fact. We're going to go to the lines now. We've got Mary on the line from London. Morning to you, Mary.
Morning.
What's your story?
I just found out that my boyfriend moved someone into his flat, and it just came all of a sudden. You know, we went away for a while and it was we were happy, and then all of a sudden I've not seen him, but he keeps coming up and keeps telling me he wants me and he loves me and things like that.
So have you had your relationship for quite a while?
4.5 years.
Yeah, so you really thought you were seriously committed, and now he says, he's moved someone into his flat with him?
Yeah.
And what is he saying to you? Is he saying he's ending your relationship, or he wants to try and keep it going?
I haven't a clue. I don't know.
Right, so, but is he prepared to give up the other girl?
He says that he doesn't want to hurt either one of us.
Right, well, I mean, it's easily said, isn't it? And I must say, I've heard that line so many, many times. I'm afraid you're going to have to be strong in your own defence, really, at this stage. And unless, I mean, it will drive you insane if he carries on having two of you, because it just eats into your self-esteem until you're actually at rock bottom, and then it'll be all the harder if he leaves you. So I think you've got to take a very firm line and say to him, you've got to choose now, it's a clear choice. And if, sadly, he does choose to stay with the other woman, then work hard at picking yourself up and actually looking at how to rebuild your life. And if you know, let me know if that's what happens, because I will get back to you and I can help you move on from this. But be very firm that you won't put up with two-timing. And
Mary, he's moved a 19-year-old in, you said, yeah? And how old is he?
30.
He's 30.
Nah.
Yeah, see, Peter, you, I mean, to be fair, I don't want to keep banging on at you, but you have a predilection for young girls as well, don't you?
Yeah, but let's look about the one we're talking about now. The lady sounds very hurt, and so she should be. Forget him completely. He's in the greed genes. There's another gene called greedy gene. Greedy food, greedy sex, if you want. And this idea of wanting to bed his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend is per normal for a guy who's rushed out with a new girl and he wants to go back to his old property. Ignore him completely. I agree with you entirely. Ignore him. Start again, love. Try very hard. Time does heal it. And as sad as that lady sounds, forget him, start again. Okay. I'm afraid that's just the simple answer.
Yeah, and that's the message from Deirdre. It is very tough for you, Mary, but be strong, as Deirdre said, and indeed as Peter said as well. OK, Sally's on the line now from Watford. Morning to you, Sally.
Morning.
What's your problem?
I've been having an affair with a man for 2 years, which is coming to an end sort of mutually. And I just wonder, should the wife know what he's been doing?
He's married?
Yes.
Right. I can see the sort of justification. You're thinking, well, hasn't she got a right to know how he's been behaving? But I generally think it's not a good idea, actually, because, I mean, you were part and parcel of this affair. Obviously, it was half of you and half of him, so it's 50% decision here. Their marriage is actually between them, and maybe he is now going to work hard at it. You can't know, maybe he won't, but maybe he is now going to work hard at it. But if you tell her, you're actually dumping your hurt on her, basically, definitely causing problems in their marriage, and I don't think you are actually helping her at all. Focus on getting yourself right again and let her sort her own life out.
But I just feel that he will go on and do it again and again. He's that sort, so shouldn't she have a right to know?
She probably does know, to be honest. Most wives have got a pretty shrewd idea what their husbands are like, and I say it doesn't actually help them, you or him, if you start telling him about it.
You should see the way he's looking at you. He's looking very puzzled, Peter Stringfellow.
I think you're brilliant. Your advice is so right. The wife usually knows. In back of her mind, she knows. Whether she wants to confront the issue is something else. However, the lady has a point. Is he totally abusing her, using her with disregard to her feelings entirely? And then she's probably every right to ring the wife and say, you know, you've got a right or whatnot here, you know. Maybe go and ring her up. What the hell? Spoil her day as well, you know.
So you're a wise man underneath that exterior, aren't you? On the quiet, you're a wise man.
I wouldn't. Sort your own problems out. It's my advice.
Yeah, and we have to say at this point to Sally and to Mary, thank you both for phoning in this morning. Hope you sort your problems out. Karen, I know you were on the line, but unfortunately we didn't have time to talk to you. Maybe Deirdre would talk to you. Deirdre will get back to you. And if you do have a problem, you can write to Deirdre as well as phoning at this address. It's Deirdre Sanders, GMTV, London TV Centre, Upper Ground, London, SE1 9TT. That address on your screens now. Thank you to Peter and to Deirdre. Lovely to see you both. Thank you. And thank you to you for being here this morning.
We're back tomorrow as well, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
But that's about it
in between.
from us for today,
Yeah,
isn't
we're
it?
off. Ross and Lauren are here. What have you got for us today, both of you?
Thank you, Stephen and Fiona. Yes, do you know, there's two of us here, me and Laura. I don't know how Lorraine Kelly does it. He's taken the pair of us all morning to
You
sort
wouldn't
this
believe
show.
how much is going on today. We've got so much to fit into the show. First of all, Liz Savage will be joining us live after an exhausting week at the London fashion shows, and she'll be giving us a lowdown on what's in and what's out. Girls just want to have fun. We'll be chatting to two of the stars of a major new drama serial. And if you believe in fairies, clap your hands, because it sounds like there are more around than we all thought. We'll let you know how to spot them.
Hello there. It's not easy following out in Lorraine Kelly's. There was a few final notes there from Robbie.
Who is that strange man?
Are you sorted?
I've got it now, I think so, yeah.
I just do what he tells me. Luckily, Robbie has managed to brief us on what is going to be this morning, Lauren, isn't it? A fairly packed show today. Starting off with Mark Frieden hits the Big Apple, not LA, as he takes a look at the winners and the losers from last night's Grannies.
And it's time for a bit of girl power. We'll be meeting two very well-known faces who are popping up in a rather unexpected place. And it's time to clap your hands if you believe in fairies. We'll be meeting someone who is in no doubt at all that they exist and telling you how you could spot a few little people for yourself. But first, we've reached the end of London Fashion Week. We've seen an extraordinary array of clothes, but what exactly does it mean for us? In a moment, Liz Savage will be letting us know. But first, here are a few of the main trends.
As London Fashion Week draws to a close and most fashion editors and buyers will be safely packed off to Milan, the new trends for autumn are beginning to emerge. You're certain to shine out in the crowd in this autumn's sparkly metallics. And the new way to wear pink is to mix it with wintry shades of plum, Air Force and charcoal. Boardroom grey will be as popular as ever, whilst women who prefer black will be spoilt for choice. The ultimate winter fabric has to be luxurious leather, whilst nylon and latex are the new age fabrics for the millennium. Unusual knitwear has featured heavily on the catwalks this week and include crocheted cobweb dresses, fluffy mohair slouch sweaters and chenille cocoon cardigans. Look out for asymmetrical hemlines, though be warned, they're not very flattering unless you've got model thin legs that go on forever. Handkerchief hems reminiscent of the 20s have been in abundance. And finally, fringing has managed to get in on every act, so get out your scissors and start chopping.
We're saying good morning to Liz now. Now, you must be exhausted, all the parties, all of the excitement.
Yes.
What surprises have you seen for us this week?
It was very tempting to stay in bed this morning, I must admit. Surprises were really, I've seen a lot of pink again for winter, which was quite a surprise.
Pink for winter?
Yes, you think it's a very summery colour, but mixed with lots of wintry shades. Lots of leather around still, and also in lots of bright colours and metallics. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, skirts, lots of different lengths, but mainly hovering around the knee and a bit further past, sort of quite unflattering.
Are we done with the micro mini?
Well, still around a little bit. Amanda Wakely had some beautiful pinstripe little mini skirts with a bit of lace showing, which was really pretty. So they're still around. I think really anything goes.
And who have you seen on the circuit? Because there have been all sorts of people coming to Fashion Week,
There've been
haven't
tons of celebrities, yeah. It has been very exciting looking at all the different celebrities. We've seen Jerry Hall with baby Gabriel. It seems to be a real trend for lots of babies. Mick Hucknall, who didn't want his picture taken at all. Jade Jagger, Princess Michael of Kent. She turned up for Philip Tracy's show, which was fantastic. Saffron from Republica and Michael Jackson.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, but yes, I mean, we rang up and found out that he was actually in Korea, so it was a big publicity stunt, which was pretty clever, because I thought it was him. I wanted to believe it was him.
Yeah, did the designer, do you think, was he in on it?
Do you know, when I interviewed him, I really wanted to believe that it was true, but apparently he was in on it.
Ah. There we go. So you were duped as well?
Yes, totally.
Now, I've seen some odd hair, some bad hair days.
We have. We've seen lots of funny hairstyles. I mean, it's more sort of hair dressing than hair cutting. We've seen lots of plaits, which are fun. The bird nest look is back. Lots of sort of big candy floss hairdos.
Falling out of bed
Lots
hair.
and lots of back combing and lots of sort of bright coloured wigs. And the Rod Stewart feather look. Remember the Bay City Rollers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that look is coming back.
Isn't that sort of Susie Quattro look?
Yes, that's the one.
You should have seen me this morning after a few hours sleep.
I did have a chat with supermodel Karen Elson, and she was saying that she's just had her hair cut. So have a listen to this.
Okay.
While I was bleaching my hair blonde, somebody else decided to cut it a little bit more shorter, which is cool, but then I looked up and I was like, it's short, it's really short, but you know, it's all right. It's a bit short, but you know, it'll grow soon, I hope.
Well, I don't know about that. So, would you do that? Is that your next step?
No. No. I think she was a bit shocked, really. She said that she got off the plane from New York and she decided she wanted to go blonde, and then she got off the plane coming back here, you know how they jet set around, and she said, oh, right, now I'm going to have my hair cut, and I think the hairdresser was very scissor happy. Which is your worst nightmare, really.
We had a lot of fun this morning running around trying to get Liz to wear one of the new fashions. Now, there's no way on earth I'd do it, but Liz is a fashion victim and a brave woman. And look what she's wearing.
I'm scared of my producer, but I have to show you these. These were at the Antonio Berardi show, and you have to have pop socks and stilettos, and the cameramen are very quiet. I can't believe I've actually done it. I brought you this present, actually. These are some cerise pink tights, because hosiery was a big story over the last week. We've seen lots and lots of different tights. We've seen the pop socks in all different colours with lots of stilettos, and we've also seen knee highs pulled up. You know, you're always trying to hide those little knee sort of trouser socks, but this time they were on show. Bright pink, as I've just